Hi, I'm Chris Howard. I'm a chief of research at Gartner, and I look after global enterprises. I'm here with Gene Alvarez. Gene, say a word about yourself.
Hi, Chris. I'm Gene Alvarez. I'm a vice president at Gartner here.
Yeah. How many years have you been doing IT Symposium?
I am on my 26th IT Symposium here. It's unbelievable.
Because you've done it every year since you've been
I've done it every year since I've been an analyst, and it's been a fun event. I just love it.
How has it changed over that time?
Well, I'd say the biggest thing, it's gotten a lot larger,
Yeah.
which means that I have to wear more comfortable shoes.
I made that mistake one year and wore a brand new pair of shoes. Worst idea ever.
Oh, no. I have sneakers on right now.
So one of the things that we try to do as we architect the agenda for Symposium is to make messages hang together over multiple sessions, and especially the really big sessions.
Yes.
So obviously there's the opening keynote, it's the biggest draw. It's of the first thing that happens on the first day. And then there are a couple of other ones. You do the top strategic technology trends.
That is correct.
I do the CIO Agenda along with a team of others that presented around the world.
Yes.
And we're very intentional about crafting messages that go through all of these things and out into other sessions as well, because you can only cover a certain amount of detail. But maybe just reflect on the opening keynote from this year. What were the main messages that you took away from it?
Yeah, I would say there were two main messages that came across to me in the opening keynote. The first one is one of my favorite quotes from Daryl, and that is, heroes are made in the trough.
It's true. It's so true, isn't it? Because the trough of disillusionment on the hype cycle is just the place where the hard work starts. And you have to be tenacious, which is part of the CIO agenda, to actually make it through into that, the plateau of productivity.
Well, it's the place of survival.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Because at that point, the emerging technology is not getting all the hype. And if it's getting any hype, it's negative hype.
Yes.
Right? People are talking about how it's not working, what it's not doing. And CIOs are faced with the challenge of overcoming it. And it's the ones who are tenacious, the ones who are creative and use their resources properly, who get to that slope of enlightenment. And then all of a sudden, everybody wants them to be a case study.
It's true. One of the things I think that's hard about the family of AI technologies, the newer ones, just to acknowledge that we've been using AI effectively for 20 years.
Yes.
Machine learning and other natural language. These are very mature disciplines within AI. But the generative AI, the neural networking stuff that people are really have been paying attention to since 2023, keep going into that technology trigger because something new happens every other week. And so it's really hard to keep track of that. And so I'm happy that things are starting to go into the trough, because that means some of the hype is burning off, and then we can maybe get some real results from it.
Some of the hype is burning off, but some of the hype's being created.
Just keeps getting relit.
I mean, as we see, one of the top strategic trends is AI development platforms. And so what's happening is two people get together and they have an AI join them. They form a company, they build a technology and launch it to a specific business problem. So this year, the top strategic trend.
So you're talking maybe like a company inside a company. Think of like a company concept, or there's a whole company?
A whole company.
Wow. Okay.
We have seen startups popping up left and right that are small, few people, but AI is part of the team.
It's really the only way they can do that. That's scale.
In fact, Sam Altman from OpenAI believes that there'll be the one-person startup one day.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure if I would like to have a company surrounded by just AI.
I know.
But the thing is that if I've had an idea to develop some solution for an organization, typically that took a little bit of an army or a lot of hours. Well, now I can have an AI work with me.
Yeah. So let's bring that back then to the keynote, because there's an aspect of readiness
Yes.
there, and on two dimensions. One is how ready is AI? So there's AI readiness.
Yes.
But there's also human readiness for that. And so what did you hear in those messages?
So in the AI readiness, right, it's the viability of the product, the ability to actually have it do it. So we have a lot of great ideas, but can it do it without hallucinations, without repercussions? Do we have the right data to feed it, right? In some cases, we've seen, for example, in customer service, we've had organizations look at their customer service data to find out that agents have been typing in, "I helped the customer." So imagine feeding 10, 15 years of customer interactions, and that's all it says. The model will return, "I helped the customer."
It's pretty lame.
So what we're seeing is organizations using AI to kind of create good data.
Right.
So they turn it on and do transcription, do summary, and they're hoping a year from now, with good summaries that are reviewed by the agents, they will then have proper data to train those customer.
This is a significant point because AI readiness, you would be easy to say, well, the vendors aren't ready with AI and those capabilities aren't ready. But a huge piece of that is AI ready data,
Yes.
and internally culture and standards and those kinds of things and being willing to change them. So AI readiness in some ways is about your ability to have a vision and an ambition and think about, well, whether is AI the right solution for that particular problem or opportunity that I have.
Yes.
And so some of readiness is cultural, changing ourselves, changing how we think about what we do. There was a powerful line in the keynote that Daryl gave, which was, if we're not designing for the roles of the future, we'll never escape the roles of the past.
Yes.
So you replace the word roles with multiple things.
Yes.
It's like because processes, business capabilities, and certainly what people do, which was a part of the keynote too, is how do we actually get people ready for this?
And the human readiness, I liken it to getting ready for vacation.
Okay.
Right. If you think about it, you're going somewhere you're not naturally going.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you might be going to a Swiss mountain you've never been to go skiing.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to do all of this research to get ready to go.
Right.
And make sure you have the proper things to take with you,
Mm-hmm.
and also the proper skills.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Well, but the important part about that, thinking about ambition, is you chose to go to the mountain. Like
Yes.
you actually made the choice of the destination that you seek,
Yes.
which makes it then easier to say, okay, here are the things that I need to reach the destination that I've chosen, as opposed to I'm going to just blindly go anywhere.
Correct.
You can never be prepared for that.
Correct.
Yeah.
By choosing the direction you want to go into, you can prepare properly.
So you're preparing for a marathon.
Yes, I am.
This is your thing right now.
This is my thing,
Congratulations,
yes.
by the way.
Thank
And
you.
so is there any similarities for preparing for a marathon that relate here?
Actually, there's a lot. We have a phrase, nothing new on race day.
Nothing new on race day.
So
I like that.
it typically takes about 20 weeks to train for a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And during that 20 weeks, you are trying the sneakers, the socks, what you'll eat, the shirts. Will it give me chafing?
Mm-hmm.
And through each of these runs that you're building up, you're building in the readiness.
Yeah.
So that when you're standing in that corral on that cold morning, that everything you have, you've worn, eaten, or used, so that it doesn't affect you on that 26.2 miles.
Well, you were saying something interesting as we were waiting to start here today about how you're planning for Tokyo.
Yes.
And looking at landmarks. Why do you do that?
Yeah, so in planning it for Tokyo, I've never run that course.
Oh, okay, so it's unfamiliar to you.
But I know that Tokyo has these major landmarks, and I know them.
And so that's for pacing yourself or measuring?
Well, and that's exactly it is. So I can pace myself, and I'm actually using AI to assemble that information.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because that information is scattered through the web. It's in blogs, it's in official race websites, it's on PDFs. So I've fed it into a model and had it build a training plan for 20 weeks to get me there.
Interesting.
And I also now have a map of what landmarks I should be looking at and checking my pace.
Oh, okay. Because it's important to hit the gates at certain times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm chasing what's called the Abbott Star. Will be my 5th of the 6 majors. And in order to do that, I need to finish on time.
Yeah.
So these major landmarks, I can see far ahead.
Yes.
And I know if I run to that and I hit a certain time, I'm on schedule. If I'm behind, I'll have to pick the pace up.
It's very interesting. So you have a destination in mind. You've run other races, not just this one. So there are things that apply from those experiences that will apply to this new one, which you're using AI to gather information that you don't know in order to help shape the preparation. That's a strong metaphor.
Correct. My goal is to be at the starting line of a race I've never run before, but know exactly how the race is going to go.
Wouldn't that be great if CIOs could do such a thing?
Yes.
That's where scenario planning comes in. So if we're thinking about the CIO agenda, what we did an analysis of everybody that took the survey, which was a different approach for us this year because we wanted to understand the relative positioning of success.
Yes.
And it's all anonymous, right? If you took the survey, you could find out where you were.
Yes.
But it really was to say, who's successful and why are they successful? Is it scope of control? Like how many business users they're responsible for? No, doesn't matter.
Yes.
As if they have a bigger budget, it doesn't matter either. So all of these things that you can't control end up not mattering whether you're successful or not. But the 3 attributes that we found were agility, and a risk management mindset and tenacity, which we've already spoken about.
Indeed.
Right. But this agility is fueled by scenario planning, which is what you're doing with Tokyo.
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And marathoners have an ABC plan.
Mm-hmm.
Your A plan is everything went right.
Mm-hmm.
B, some things have gone wrong.
Mm-hmm.
C is everything's gone wrong.
Yes. No, let's hope not for C.
You hope not for C. But, for example, one year I ran New York, and typically the weather we want for a marathon is 52 degrees.
Yep.
You'd like it to be cloudy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right?
Makes sense.
And you would love the ground to be covered in pine needles.
Why?
Because it's soft.
Okay.
Instead of running on concrete. But instead it was almost 80 degrees.
Yeah.
Very sunny.
Yeah.
And for those who didn't prepare for the heat, they didn't finish.
They didn't finish.
In fact, I beat one of the Brazilian professionals, had to drop out of the race. Yet I completed. I may not have been as fast, but I did complete.
You. Yeah, these external conditions, again, there are things that you control, things that you can't, and
Correct.
sort of focusing in. One of the big disruptors this year, of course, has been geopolitical and tariffs and sort of disruptions to supply chain. And what we see in the data is very interesting. Is we asked a question in the CIO survey about, do you plan to reconsider your vendors, especially location?
Correct.
And inside the US, 69% say, no, we're good. We're good. Outside the US, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
And so there's a strong consideration of, do we need to disconnect ourselves a little bit more from American vendors? I mean, it's that blunt. It's not an easy answer, right? Because if you're looking at the hyperscalers, there just aren't options unless you go to China, perhaps. But it is, they're really rethinking the mix. And this is a risk management strategy and partly scenario planning to say what could happen and do I have the options ready to snap in if I need them? Yeah. And so I had a meeting with the CEO the other day, and they said, it's like we've been in 3 different operating environments in the last 9 months.
Indeed.
And that to survive in this, you need to be agile, like have an A, B, C plan, but let's not do C, but the A, B, and C plan.
In fact, in the top strategic technology trends, we introduced 3 superheroes that you'll need for your journey in 2026. Mm-hmm. And I likened the CIO to the superhero, but not Superman, someone born with a natural thing from another planet, more like Frodo. Right? Yeah. Someone who was assigned a mission and had to do it, and who joined them? His friends, right? It was Samwise, Pippin, and Merry. Yeah. Right? Well, we have the architect, the synthesist, and the Vanguard. The third one is the Vanguard. And in there we have preemptive cybersecurity. Good. Right? We had digital provenance, which kind of tells you, is the media real or fake? Ah, okay. And then we had
meaning by looking at a deep fake, can I trust this?
So imagine this. In this environment that we're in, geopolitical, I'm a nation state hacker. I want to launch an attack. I fake your HR app.
Easy.
And you sign on, give me all your personal information. I can get it for your entire company. So this is where digital provenance comes in and protects you by proving that third-party data or media or application you're getting is the real one. Now, we also saw geo-repatriation as one of our trends. And that's the
rebalancing of where I locate my
where I locate things. So I talk about like family pictures. Do I keep them in the house? Do I keep them in the cloud? Or do I keep them in a safety deposit box in a bank nearby? I have to make a choice of where I want them.
Right. And the truth is you may want some in all of those places.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. This is what CIOs are facing. And we're seeing VC money moving to create local startups that are saying, don't use the hyperscalers. We're in your country. We're a company of your country.
And we understand local laws and regulations. Yes.
Yes. So the hyperscalers are going to have competition on georepatriation.
And what that means for the hyperscalers is better enforcement of sovereignty through contracts.
Correct.
And mechanics to make sure the data stays in reach and things like that, which they have been doing, I think, just as the pressure is increased there.
Yeah.
This all costs money.
Yes, indeed.
And I had a manager once that when we would do our reviews, to say, get the awkward stuff out of the way first.
Yeah.
And then you can talk about sort of here's where you go for it. The awkward news for North America is that IT budgets are up 1%. Yeah. And if you take inflation to account, that's basically nothing.
Nothing.
And it's a little bit more in rest of world. But the dynamic within that is the amount of spend on AI continues to increase within that budget.
Yes.
So you have pressure from top of house to actually make that AI pay off. Yes. So I'm dealing in a cost-restrained environment, and I'm investing more of that within AI. There are some risks with that. One is that I start to underinvest in dependencies.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
maybe it's a cybersecurity dependency or a data dependency, like we were talking about AI-ready data. And so you have to have this portfolio approach
Indeed.
to flex, right?
Yes. You can even enlarge your application backlog,
Yeah.
right? You just put projects on hold.
Right. And that might mean not paying off some technical debt.
Correct.
Which feels like the wrong thing to do, but businesses carry debt
still
for
have
a reason.
on-premise applications sitting out there in organizations.
Yeah.
They still have older technologies. We have clients who are running applications on top of infrastructure that has been fully depreciated. And we still see cloud migrations occurring of applications, and that can be postponed even more.
Yeah. So you're running this top strategic trends project internally. How do you choose them?
Oh boy, well, on Friday when SIM is over.
Yeah.
That's when we start.
I know.
We start on that day.
Keeps on rolling.
So, the emerging technologies teams, we track over 650 markets that are emerging markets. We also look to see where's the money going? Where are VC funding?
Yeah.
Then we also look at patents. Who's filing patents? So we go through that first. Then we have over 130 hype cycles. And on them are approximately 2,000 innovation profiles. Yeah. We look at all the innovation profiles from the technology trigger to the peak of inflated expectations. Then we do an open call to our 2,500 plus analysts. And we ask them to send in what are their thoughts, then what should be on this list. And that's how we find the ones in their desk drawer that they're working on the side.
But it can't just be like a crazy idea that nobody's done before.
No, what we want to see is the invisible hand of economics is moving funding there, that there is a market for it. Yeah. One of my questions, the team I drive them crazy with is like, is it a SKU and can I buy it? It has to be a technology.
Yeah. So what's your favorite one this year?
Oh, wow. I love all my children. But again, I do have my favorites. And I think it's one of the hottest trends. It's a now trend, which is 1 to 3 years. Right. And that's multi-agent systems.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So we started to build agents, but we've seen organizations kind of build the monolith agent. It's an agent that does many, many things, and it's very complex and it becomes
extremely slow and expensive to run.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing is many are starting to say, whoa, what if I make a specific agent that now it has a specific test? And I liken it to an F1 pit crew, right? Your business is the F1. It has a complex challenge to win the race.
It's amazing the turnaround time in those pits.
Indeed. Indeed.
And they have some specialized tools to do that.
Exactly.
That everybody knows exactly what they're doing and how it's choreographed.
Correct. So they're able to know. The radio's telling them they're coming in, needs brakes. It needs tires. It needs fuels. The driver needs this. And all of a sudden, you've got the left front tire. I've got the right front tire. We are so specialized that we can do it quickly, synchronous together, this complex product, and we get the car out quickly.
Really?
And multi-agent systems, because it's modular design, those agents and the specificity that they do reduce hallucination.
Yes.
Right, which bring the accuracy up. And now when you coordinate them around the complex product or process, they can deliver a great results quickly. And also, they can change. They can call other specific process. So multi-agent systems is one of my favorites. But one thing behind it that is domain-specific language models.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Now, we have models. They're very broad. They've indexed the entire web and everything written by mankind.
And they stopped being useful for specific types of tasks.
Correct.
Yeah.
But what if we had one just for building codes? Right? And a contractor was able to feed in the plans of a project, and it comes back with, these are your code violations. And you can fix it at the drawing level versus finding out when the inspector.
So you have like a code compliance agent that's checking always the things you're creating.
Correct. So as part of designing a new facility, it will constantly be checking the code and say, hold on, you put that door near where there should be a fire exit, or you're short of fire exit, and it's going to catch it in the design, not in the field.
Yeah. Interesting. So I remember having a conversation with one of the F1 teams, by the way, just to go back there.
That's pretty cool.
And we were talking about telematics in the car.
Yes.
And doing it for fan purposes, so you could actually track, all of the statistics. And you see that when you see it now them on TV.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that basically if something happens to the driver, the car will drive itself into the pit.
Yes.
And then that led to a conversation of them saying, well, actually, you don't need drivers at all.
Correct.
In the F1 cars. But then they said nobody would come to watch.
Perfect.
Why do you think that nobody would come to watch? What do you think the answer is?
I think why nobody would come.
Why would nobody come to watch a driverless F1?
I think, it's funny. If you think of the original space missions, right? They weren't going to put a window in because they said the pilots wouldn't pilot. And the pilot's like, hold it, we're pilots. Right?
So there is that.
If something goes wrong beyond all the things that you've calculated, we're going to handle that.
See, this is the answer I wanted. So that's probably a really good answer. The actual answer is people come to see the accidents.
Yes, that's true.
Right? They actually want to see the human element of that. And that's, it's
The most popular injury, broken ankles.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
They're in the front.
Oh,
Think of
not popular. You don't mean popular. Most common. Most common. Okay,
yes.
Let's be clear
Most
about
common.
that.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's a better phraseology. You have it.
Human.
Yeah, I don't want any F1 drivers down there being mad with a bunch of helmets in their
comments
crew.
putting comments on our thread. Yeah, exactly. And so
I apologize to the F1 drivers out there.
apologize.
Guys, I follow you. It's really, really cool. That's
fans.
what gave me the idea. I was watching the races out in Dubai.
But I remember being in Singapore when the first F1 race that they did in Singapore was in place. And Singapore is a fascinating and fabulous city for lots of different reasons. And not least of which is their ability to completely flex around an F1 race.
Yeah.
And that, again, is sort of how rigid are we, how agile are we in order to create the experiences that people need and not be disruptive about them.
Correct.
I mean, it's kind of the magic of delivering technology today.
Yes.
And, the AI that we're using and the generative AI techniques make a lot of this easier, but it still feels early days. And so you're talking about multi-agent systems. This is great. And I'm seeing things that are working, like producing results. I think where people get confused, which is part of the hype, is an agent is a very specific thing.
Correct.
Right. It has autonomy or semi-autonomy that you've given it with guardrails. It can solve a problem it's never seen before.
Yes.
And optimize and learn from that. So it has memory. Like those are really specific characteristics. And you think about, if you have just a conversational agent that's mostly, going off script or something, or a set of specific things. That's not what I'm describing. Right?
No.
It's not that that's not useful. It's just not necessarily a full agent. I think when we get to the kinds of scenarios that you're talking about, like a code checker.
Yes.
Not code. Well, there are code checker agents.
There are code checker agents, yes.
But anything, I think of, how many regulated environments we have that, if you could have an agent that was a specialist in a regulation.
Exactly. You could have a regulation compliance checker, and it's going to constantly check to see, how am I doing in terms of maintaining my compliance?
Yeah.
And it would generate the compliance information because that's all it's been doing, watching for anything out of compliance.
So I have an agent that is saying we've used up about most of our time.
Oh.
So we're compliant with our timing. You and I, we just keep going, right?
Yes, indeed.
It's not apparent to the folks that are watching, but this is really early in the morning.
Yeah,
for
I
us.
still have more to say.
I know, I do too. Well, fortunately, we have the whole day to do that with other people and clients and each other.
Indeed. I have more sessions today.
Yeah. So this is giving you a bit of a flavor of how we think about topics and how they weave together, and obviously multiple levels of depth. Or to go from a strategic level, what I often say from strategy to the server room, which is a really important part of what we do.
Yes.
And we've wanted to share a bit of that with you today. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time around.
Thanks for listening to this latest episode of ThinkCast, featuring Chris Howard and Gene Alvarez. If you'd like to learn more, click the links in the notes. And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, share with a colleague, and join us next time.